You worked harder than everyone else. You stayed longer. You repeated your efforts again and again. Yet somehow the results never matched the struggle. This is the story of a man who learned that effort alone is not wisdom, and that working smart can change a life faster than working endlessly. Once upon a time, in a bustling town filled with workshops and narrow streets, there lived a man named Elias Moore. Elias was known as the hardest worker in town. Before sunrise, his shop doors were already open. Long after sunset, his lamp was still burning. He carved wooden tools by hand slowly, carefully, tirelessly. His hands were rough, his back always aching, but his pride was strong. "I believe in honest work," Elias would say. "The harder I work, the more success will come." People admired his dedication, but few envied his life. Across the street worked another craftsman named Samuel Reed. Samuel arrived later, left earlier, and often sat quietly sketching instead of carving. Many whispered that he was lazy. How can he succeed doing so little? They said. Elias noticed too, and secretly it bothered him. Every week Elias worked twice as long, yet Samuel sold more tools. Better tools, tools that lasted longer and cost less. Elias couldn't understand it. One evening, exhausted and frustrated, Elias slammed his chisel onto the table. "I give everything," he muttered. "Why do I keep falling behind?" The next morning, a quiet visitor arrived in town, an elderly engineer traveling from village to village. People gathered around him, curious about his strange instruments and calm presence. Elias, desperate for answers, waited until the crowd thinned. "Sir," Elias said, his voice heavy, "I work harder than anyone I know. I sacrifice sleep, comfort, even joy. But others succeed with less effort. What am I doing wrong?" The old man studied Elias's hands, cut, swollen, trembling. Then he asked gently, "Tell me, how often do you stop to think about how you work?" Elias frowned. "I don't stop. Stopping wastes time." The old man smiled. "If two men are digging a hole," he said, "and one sharpens his tool while the other keeps digging with a dull blade, who finishes first?" Elias hesitated. "The one who sharpens," he admitted. The old man nodded. "Then why do you believe endless effort is smarter than thoughtful effort?" He placed a small, simple tool in Elias's hand, a redesigned handle that reduced strain and doubled efficiency. "Working smart," the man said, "is not avoiding effort. It is respecting your energy enough to use it wisely." With that, he walked on, leaving Elias standing in silence. That night, Elias didn't work. For the first time in years, he sat quietly and observed his process. He noticed wasted movements, poor tools, repeated mistakes, habits he had never questioned. The next day, he changed. He redesigned his tools, organized his workspace, learned new techniques, took breaks to think instead of forcing his hands forward. People laughed. "Working less now?" they teased. Elias only smiled. Weeks passed. His tools improved, his body felt lighter, his mind sharper. What once took 10 hours now took 4. What once broke now lasted years. Customers noticed. Not the sweat, not the struggle, but the results. One afternoon, Samuel crossed the street and said quietly, "You finally understood." Elias smiled. "I thought working smart meant cutting corners." Samuel shook his head. "No, it means cutting waste. Soon, Elias's shop no longer needed its lamp late at night. He went home before darkness. He laughed again. He rested. And somehow, he earned more than ever before. One evening, a young apprentice asked him, "Master Elias, why don't you work as hard as you used to?" Elias looked at his hands, still strong, but no longer broken. "Because," he said, "I learned that exhaustion is not a badge of honor. Effort doesn't matter." Elias smiled gently. "Effort matters, but direction matters more. Hard work without thought drains you. Smart work multiplies you. When you stop confusing busyness with progress, life begins to move forward. You don't need to suffer to succeed. You don't need to burn yourself to prove your worth. You need focus, strategy, awareness, because the goal is not to work until you break. It's to work in a way that lets you live. If this story spoke to you, remember, rest is not laziness, thinking is not weakness. And choosing a smarter path does not mean you are doing less. It means you finally understand more. Thank you for listening. Stay thoughtful. Stay balanced, and may your work bring you peace, not just results.